Good morning, class 10th. Welcome to your history and civics class. We are doing lesson number 1, the First War of Independence, which is also known as the Great Uprising of 1857. The objectives that we have covered in our previous video are social and religious causes, and under social and religious causes we have studied interference with social customs, activities of missionaries. Then we have studied also about economic causes, and under economic causes, exploitation of economic resources of India, collapse of Indian handicraft, drain of wealth, poverty and famine, economic decline of peasantry. Children, these cross questions are related to the topic that we have done. So I would like you to give the answers of all these cross questions. Write down your answers in the comment box down below. Number 1. How did people in India look upon the social reforms brought about by the British? Number 2. Give an example to show how the British exploited economic resources of India. Number 3. Why was the introduction of railways and telegraph resented? Number 4. Why were the educated Indians against the British government? Children, in this video we will learn about various military causes, that is discontent among Indian soldiers, that led to the revolt of 1857. Number 1, ill treatment of Indian sepoys. Number 2, inferior status and low salaries. Number 3, Journal Service Enlistment Act. Number 4, loss of British prestige in the First Afghan War. Number 5, effect of the annexation of Oudh. And number 6, numerical strength of the Indian soldiers. Then after the military causes, we will study about the immediate cause of the revolt of 1857, that is the introduction of the greased cartridges, and at the end we will study about main events of the war. The important terms in the lesson are: number 1, sepoys, an Indian soldier serving under the British. Number 2, sectarian. Sectarian is a word to describe something having to do with smaller groups or sects. For example, if you are a religious sectarian, you are loyal to a particular religious sect or group. Number 3, cartridge, a casing containing a charge and a bullet or shot for small arms or an explosive charge for blasting. Number 4, infantry, soldiers marching or fighting on foot. Next term, rallying, the action or process of coming together to support a person or cause. Next, reinforcement, extra personnel sent to increase the strength of an army. Atrocity, an extremely wicked or cruel act, typically one involving physical violence or injury. Rebel, rise in opposition or armed resistance to an established government or leader. Next term, patriotic, having or expressing devotion for one's country. And the last term is traitor, a person who betrays someone. The Indian military was not a professional military. They were just peasants in uniform. Thus, every impact on peasantry had large repercussions, which means reaction to another event or action, in the form of military discontentment. Also, the policies followed by Lord Dalhousie and Lord Canning greatly hurt the sentiments of the Indian military. The Indian military was already largely discriminated against in terms of salaries, pensions, and promotions. In 1857, Indian soldiers rose up against their British commanders. They were joined by native rulers and thousands of ordinary people in a struggle that threatened to destroy British colonial power on the Indian subcontinent. The reason behind the rebellion stretched back to the origin of British involvement in many Indian affairs. Now we are going to study about those reasons one by one. The first point is ill treatment of the Indian sepoys. The East India Company established the British Empire in India with the help of Indian soldiers. Despite the fact that Indian soldiers were as efficient as their British counterparts, they were poorly paid, ill-fed, and badly housed. British military authorities forbade the sepoys from wearing caste or sectarian marks, beards or turbans, and they showed disregard for the sentiments of the Indian sepoys. Page number 69, let us do the reading. Point number 4, military causes discontent among Indian soldiers. The above causes, children, here the above causes means that we have done already in a previous video: social and religious causes and economic causes. The above causes had prepared the ground for a rising, but it could not erupt as long as the Indian soldiers were loyal to the English. But there were several causes that roused discontentment among the sepoy as well, who started the uprising. First point, ill treatment of Indian sepoys. Sepoy is an Indian soldier serving under the British. There were no fellow feelings between the English and Indian soldiers. The Indian soldiers were considered inferior to the English soldiers. They helped the English to establish their empire in India, but they were treated with contempt by the British officers. Contempt means the feeling that a person or a thing is worthless or beneath consideration. During their training, they were abused and kicked as if they were animals. Such treatment broke their hearts and hurt their feelings. British military authorities forbade sepoys from wearing caste or sectarian marks, beards, or turbans. Sectarian, as earlier discussed in the terms, is a word to describe something having to do with smaller groups or sects. Inferior status and low salaries. The Indian soldiers were considered inferior to the English soldiers. An English soldier was paid more, and Indian soldier had no chance of promotion even. Poor terms of service and pensions, bad pay, lack of promotion, and increased cultural and racial insensitivity from British officers all contributed to the feelings of discontent among the Indian soldiers. Many high caste Hindu sepoys also viewed attempts during the 1840s to extend recruitment to lower caste Hindus, Sikhs, and Muslims as a threat to their traditional social status. Point number 2. Inferior status and low salaries. The wages of the Indian soldiers were too less to support their families. Wage is a fixed regular payment earned for work or service, typically paid on a daily or weekly basis. An English soldier was paid more than 8 times an Indian sepoy, while their duties were of a similar nature. The Indian had no chance of promotion either. They were not appointed to high posts in the army. No Indian could rise higher than the post of Subedar, and his salary too was less than that of an English soldier. In fact, the sepoy's life was very hard and he resented his inferior position. Resentment describes a negative emotional reaction to being mistreated. The next military cause is Journal Service Enlistment Act. According to traditional belief, it was a taboo. Taboo means something prohibited or restricted by social custom. It was a taboo for a Brahmin to cross the seas. The British Parliament passed the Journal Service Enlistment Act in 1856. As for this act, Indian soldiers could be sent overseas on duty. The act did not take into account the sentiment of the Indian soldiers. The Brahmin soldiers saw in this a danger to their caste. This led to a feeling of resentment among them. Point number 3. Journal Service Enlistment Act of 1856. Lord Canning passed the Journal Service Enlistment Act. It created bitterness among the sepoys as it bound them to be sent to fight even to an overseas front. Overseas is relating to a foreign country, especially one across the sea. The sepoys opposed this act because it was contrary to their religious beliefs. The act did not take into account the sentiments of Indian soldiers. The Brahmin soldiers saw in this a danger to their caste. This led to a feeling of resentment among them. Loss of British prestige in the First Afghan War. Anglo-Afghan War, also called Afghan Wars, in which Great Britain from its base in India sought to extend its control over neighboring Afghanistan and to oppose Russian influence there. And in the Crimean War, it was a result of Russian pressure on Turkey. This threatened the British commercial and strategic interest in the Middle East and India. But British Army suffered major reverses in both the wars. Even the Santhal tribesmen of Bihar and Bengal, armed with axes and bows, rose up against the British, temporarily sweeping away the British rule from their area. Though the British suppressed the Santhal uprising, but the disaster they suffered broke the myth that the British were invincible, means undefeatable. It further revealed to the Indian soldiers that the British army could be defeated by the determined Indian army. Point number 4. Loss of British prestige in the First Afghan War. Prestige means widespread respect felt for someone or something on the basis of a perception of their achievements or quality. A myth prevailed among the soldiers that the English were invincible. Myth means a traditional story, especially one concerning the early history of people or explaining natural or social phenomena, and typically involving supernatural beings or events. And invincible means too powerful to be defeated or overcome. But the beating they received in the First Afghan War broke this myth, and the Indian sepoys felt that the British could also be defeated. So they gathered courage to take up arms against them. Arms means weapons. The Crimean War of 1854 till 56 broke out between England and Russia in Europe. A large number of European soldiers were pulled back to Europe. The fall in the number of European troops in India encouraged the Indian sepoys to break out in an open revolt. Effect of the annexation of Oudh, or also known as Awadh. To understand this point, we have to move back a little into one of the political causes, that is annexation of Awadh. On 7th February 1856, by the order of Lord Dalhousie, Journal of East India Company, the king of Awadh, that is Nawab Wajid Ali Shah, was deposed, and its kingdom was annexed to British India under the terms of the Doctrine of Lapse on the grounds of internal misrule. The dissolution of the court and the sacking of the army of Awadh left several nobles, officials, and soldiers out of jobs. This increased unemployment and poverty in the state. The British took away lands from the landlords. These landlords became firm opponent of the British. The loss of Awadh only added to the existing tensions between the British and the locals. The simmering resentment would only boil over as the revolt of 1857, with Awadh being one of the many focal points of the rebellion. Point number 5. Effect of the annexation of Oudh. The Bengal army was very strong and well armed. It consisted mainly of the soldiers drawn from the Oudh. The annexation of Oudh in 1856 sent a wave of resentment among them and inflamed their feelings. Inflamed means provoked or intensified. Numerical strength of the Indian soldiers, or a larger proportion of Indians in the British Army. In the year 1856, the Company Army had 2,38,000 Indians and 45,322 British soldiers. Lord Dalhousie had recommended recruitment of more British troops, but it was not done at that point of time. As a result, it became easier for the rebelling Indian troops to overwhelm their British colleagues. Last point of the military causes. Number 6 point, numerical strength of the Indian soldiers. The number of Indian soldiers was 5 times that of the British troops. It encouraged the Indian soldiers to take up arms against the English. Troops means soldiers. Immediate cause, greased cartridges. No single factor was in itself enough to start a rebellion, but the cumulative effect meant all that was needed was a catalyst to turn quiet discontent into a much more serious affair. So children, now let us see how the introduction of the greased cartridges became the immediate cause for the revolt of 1857. In 1856, the British authorities decided to replace the old-fashioned musket called the Brown Bess by the new Enfield rifle. Musket is an infantryman's light gun with a long barrel. The loading process of the Enfield rifle involved bringing the cartridge to the mouth and biting off the top greased paper with the teeth. In January 1857, there was a rumor in the Bengal regiment that the greased cartridges had the fat of cow or pig. The sepoys were now convinced that the introduction of greased cartridges was a deliberate move to defile Hindu and Muslim religions, as the cow is sacred to Hindus and the pig is a taboo to Muslims. So both the Hindus and the Muslims soldiers refused to use these cartridges and staged an uprising when they were forced to use them. Page number 70, immediate cause, greased cartridges. By 1857, the material for a mass uprising was ready. Only a spark was needed to set it on fire. It was triggered by the greased cartridges. Cartridge, a casing containing a charge and a bullet or shot for small arms or an explosive charge for blasting. A new type of rifle, Enfield rifle, was introduced in the army. Greased cartridges were to be used in them. Before fitting them in the rifles, the soldiers had to bite the tip of the cartridges with their teeth. A rumor means a currently circulating story or report of uncertain or doubtful truth. So a rumor spread that they were greased with the fat of the cow and the pig. Both the Hindu and the Muslim sepoys were enraged and thought that the English government wanted to defile their religions. Defile means to make impure or unclean. Both refused to use these cartridges, and when force was used against them, they became infuriated and rose in revolt. Infuriated means extremely angry and impatient. Main events of the war. On February 26, 1857, the 19th Native Infantry at Baharampur in Bengal refused to accept the cartridges given to them. The regiment was disbanded as a warning to the other regiments. The sepoys feared loss of their caste and religion if they accepted the greased cartridges. As a result, Mangal Pandey, a sepoy, led an attack on the 34th Native Infantry at Barakpur on March 29, 1857. Mangal Pandey was executed after a court-martial. Court-martial is a judicial court for trying members of the armed services accused of offences against military law. For his fellow sepoys, he became a martyr. Martyr is a person who is killed because of their religious or other beliefs. This resulted soon in general uprising in Meerut, Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, etc. Meerut. On 6th May 1857 AD, 85 out of 90 Indian soldiers at Meerut refused to bite the greased cartridges with their teeth. These 85 soldiers were court-martialed and imprisoned for 10 years. They were stripped of their uniforms in the presence of the entire Indian crowd. It was too much of a disgrace, and this incident sent a wave of indignation, which means anger or annoyance. On 10th May 1857, the Indian soldiers at Meerut broke into open revolt. They released their companions and murdered a few European officers. On the night of 10th May, the mutineers marched to Delhi and reached there on 11th May. Page number 70, Main Events of the War. The rumor about the greased cartridges spread like wildfire. The Great Rising started from Barakpur in Bengal. A Brahmin sepoy named Mangal Pandey refused to use the greased cartridges and killed 2 English officers. He was hanged. This resulted soon in general uprising in Meerut, Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, etc. Number 1. Meerut. The real trouble started at Meerut on May 6, 1857. It gathered momentum and spread across northern India like a wildfire. Momentum, in simple terms, means mass and motion. About 86 sepoys refused to use the greased cartridges. They were dismissed and sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. Imprisonment means if someone is locked up or kept somewhere, usually in prison, as a punishment for a crime. Next morning, their companions revolted, killed the officers, attacked the jail, and released the prisoners. Events at Delhi. The soldiers from Meerut came to Delhi the next morning. They were joined by the local infantry. Infantry means soldiers marching or fighting on foot. They seized the city and proclaimed the aged Mughal emperor Bahadur Shah the emperor of India. He was compelled to write letters to all chiefs and rulers of India, urging them to organize a confederacy of Indian states to fight against the British. Confederacy means forming an alliance. In the process, the British lost Delhi. Sir John Nicholson surrounded Delhi and after 4 months of attack captured Delhi. The old Emperor Bahadur Shah was found guilty of aiding the movement. As a punishment, his 2 sons were shot dead in front of him. He was sentenced to life imprisonment and deported. Deported means sent to Yangon in Myanmar, where he died in 1862. Page number 70, Main Events of the War. Point number 2. Delhi. The Meerut soldiers set fire to the bungalows of the English and set off for Delhi. The local infantry joined them. They killed their officers and captured the city. The last Mughal king, Bahadur Shah II, was declared the Emperor of India. The soldiers from other areas also poured into Delhi. Soon the mutiny of the sepoys changed into a revolutionary war, but the success of the revolutionaries proved short-lived. A revolutionary is a person who either participates in or advocates a revolution. Soon, Sir John Nicholson besieged Delhi and he ultimately succeeded in capturing Delhi in September 1857. Besieged means surrounded by armed forces aiming to capture it or force surrender. Thousands of soldiers and people were put to death mercilessly under the supervision of General Neil. Bahadur Shah was caught, sentenced to life imprisonment, and deported to Rangoon, where he died in 1862. Both his sons were shot dead before his very eyes. Thus, the mighty Mughal Empire came to an end. Though aged and powerless, Bahadur Shah became the symbol of India's political unity. He became a rallying point of all those who wanted to put an end to the foreign rule. Rallying means the action or process of coming together to support a person or a cause. That is why rebellious soldiers from all over the country turned their steps towards Delhi. Rebellious means rise in opposition or armed resistance to an established government or a leader. Likewise, all the Indian chiefs who took part in the great uprising proclaimed their loyalty to Bahadur Shah. He wrote letters to different rulers asking them to unite and form a confederacy to drive the British out. Confederacy means forming an alliance. Thus, Bahadur Shah acted as a unifying force, and this was his great contribution. Events at Kanpur. At Kanpur, the struggle for independence was led by Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II. A number of British fell into his hands and he showed great kindness to them. But when he heard about inhuman attitude of General O'Neill towards Indians, he became very furious and killed all the British. General Havelock captured Kanpur after defeating Nana Sahib in a hotly contested battle on June 17, 1857. Later on, Nana Sahib, with the help of Tantia Tope, recaptured Kanpur in November 1857. But not for a long time, and British defeated them once again in a fierce war from December 1 to 6, 1857. Nana Sahib fled towards Nepal, where he probably died, while Tantia Tope migrated to Kalpi. Kalpi is in Uttar Pradesh. Page number 71, third point, Kanpur. At Kanpur, the great uprising was led by Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II. Children, the Peshwa was the appointed Prime Minister of the Maratha Empire. He was a brave and determined general. He captured the fort and proclaimed himself the Peshwa. He showed signs of a national hero where he acknowledged Bahadur Shah as the Emperor of India. This very fact greatly cemented the Hindu-Muslim unity which was the need of the hour. With the help of Tantia Tope and Azimullah, he gave some tough moments to the British, who were forced to announce a reward of ₹1 lakh for the capture of Nana Sahib. At last, General Havelock arrived on the scene with a large force. Because of a larger army and better equipment, he defeated Nana Sahib and recaptured the city. Nana Sahib fled and was not heard of again. The chief burden of fighting now fell on his capable and trusted General Tantia Tope. He seized the city again, but the English succeeded in reoccupying it. Seized means take hold of suddenly and forcibly. Events at Lucknow. The struggle for independence at Lucknow was led by Begum Hazrat Mahal, the wife of Nawab Wajid Ali Shah of Awadh. The chief commissioner, Sir Henry Lawrence, sought refuge with 1,000 English and 700 Indian soldiers inside the residency. The Indians did not make any concession and killed most of the Englishmen, including Sir Henry Lawrence and the notorious English General O'Neill. At last, the commander-in-chief, General Colin Campbell, marched towards Lucknow and captured it after a fierce battle. Point number 4 on the same page 71, Lucknow. The great uprising at Lucknow was led by the Begum of Awadh. She organized an all-out attack on the British and besieged Sir Henry Lawrence and other Englishmen in the residency. Sir Henry Lawrence was shot dead. General Havelock came to rescue them but failed to do so and lost a number of soldiers, including General Neil, who had administered large-scale killings in Delhi. At last, Sir Colin Campbell reached there with more reinforcements. Reinforcement means extra personnel sent to increase the strength of an army. He defeated the rebels and recaptured Lucknow in 1858. A large number of people were murdered in cold blood. Murdered in cold blood means in a purposely ruthless and unfeeling manner. Point number 5, Banaras and Allahabad. The news of uprising reached Banaras. The revolutionaries revolted and killed many English soldiers and officers. General Neil reached there. He committed inhuman atrocities on the revolutionaries and crushed the uprising. Atrocity means an extremely wicked or cruel act, typically one involving physical violence or injury. There was a rising at Allahabad also in June under the leadership of Maulvi Liaquat Ali. The rebels succeeded in capturing the fort and the city of Allahabad. General Neil arrived on the scene and put down the rebellion by his harsh policy. Next, events at Bihar. In Bihar, the revolt was led by Kuwar Singh, a zamindar of Jagdishpur. Though he was 80 years old, he played a prominent part in the revolt. He fought the British in Bihar and then joined Nana Sahib's forces and took part in various encounters with the English in Awadh and central India. He died on April 27, 1858, leaving behind a glorious record of his bravery. Page number 72, point number 6, Bihar. Kuwar Singh organized this movement in Bihar because his small kingdom of Jagdishpur had been annexed by the English. He extended his operation to Rewa, Banda and Kalpi and also helped Nana Sahib. He died after a gallant fight on April 27, 1858. Gallant means brave. His brother Amar Singh took the command of the rebels after his death. Rebels means rise in opposition or armed resistance to an established government or leader. All his companions were killed in one of the battles and he was forced to run away. The English were able to crush the revolt in Bihar. Next, events in central India, Jhansi and Gwalior. The battle began at Jhansi early in June 1857. Sir Hugh Rose led siege to the fortress of Jhansi in March 1858. Fortress is a strongly fortified town. Rani Lakshmi Bai resisted, but Jhansi was captured by the British when traitors opened the gates of the fortress for them. The Rani escaped from the fortress on the night of April 4, 1858 to join Tantia Tope at Kalpi. The Rani died fighting the British on June 17, 1858 at Gwalior. Tantia Tope was betrayed by the Gwalior chief Man Singh and was hanged on April 18, 1859. Point number 7 of events, Central India. The rebels in central India were led by a brave and patriotic lady, Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi. Patriotic means having or expressing devotion for one's country. She was joined by the valiant General Tantia Tope. Valiant means possessing or showing courage or determination. The Rani fought like a true heroine. Her courage and military skill inspired her countrymen. She fought gallantly, but Jhansi was captured by the English with the help of some traitors. Traitor is a person who betrays someone. The Rani fled towards Kalpi. English General Sir Hugh Rose followed her, but Rani Lakshmi Bai did not lose heart. Seldom was shown such a valor and determination as was shown by this great heroine of the national movement. Children, the meaning of the word valor is great courage. Along with Tantia Tope, she fell on Gwalior like a lioness and seized it from Scindia, who was loyal to the English. Scindia had to take refuge with the English at Agra. Sir Hugh Rose advanced towards Gwalior and defeated the rebels. The Rani died fighting on the battlefield. Tantia Tope fled. He was caught, tried and hanged. Tried means a formal examination of evidence by a judge. With their deaths, the great uprising of 1857 came to an end. The great sacrifice of Rani Jhansi is still remembered by every Indian. She would ever be a source of great inspiration for all of us. And with this, we have done with the military, immediate as well as the main events of the revolt of 1857. Do the readings on page 69 till 72. Solve the related back questions. Follow the school YouTube link. Take care of yourself and your family. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.